Another interesting moment from the very first episode of 24 season 3 comes when we have short moment of Tony calling to Washington to his friends. Clearly, Tony is trying to change the jobs. He wants something calmer, something better paid. He wants to move up in ladder, but they don't have anything for his wife Michelle. They've met in previous season. I remember that they've became lovers, but you don't need to know that. It's clear that those two are a couple. It's clear that they met through work, and now it's also clear just from first glance that for both Tony and Michelle, career is extremely important. Self-development is extremely important, but as is to be together. And now we have a situation where Tony has chance to move up the notch, but that means either being separated from his wife until they find something for her, or that she will be at least temporarily unemployed. And mind you, money is not a problem. Clearly, those two are well off, at least as well off as you can be as federal agent and officer in federal bureau. Thing is, it would mean, at least for a time, for Michelle to give up her job and to show to effectively quote unquote, and she jokes about it that she will become housewife. She says that I'll go anywhere with you, baby, as long as you don't have to cook. And Tony, a lot of people give Tony shit for being downer, but I think he's great counterbalance for Jack and brings a lot of, well, he's grounded. He brings a lot of levity, I guess, a lot of sanity, a lot of, okay, let's calm down and act like proper government employees to the show that was really missing in first season when everyone, basically, if Jack is cowboy, well-meaning but nonetheless cowboy, then Tony is the guy who's proper man. He's proper fall for him, and you can tell later in the show that they, despite their rivalry and a lot of disagreements, they do have a lot and lot of respect to each other. Now, Tony also, like I said, a lot of people give him complain about Tony, saying, like I said, it's down and it's not fun, but I like that he's very stern but really very reasonable and also very vulnerable and loving. He clearly cares about Michelle, and if you're going to hate on Tony for being careers, being obsessed with career, you also must find it a bit suspicious that he's not celebrating that he's being promoted because he doesn't want to live without his wife, and he definitely doesn't want for his wife to give up her own dreams, her own status, her own career. And yes, this come into later. We learn either through story or through the relationship, which intertwine really well later in the season. But I just love how you have those two characters who would be villain, or at least the character is supposed to hate in other story. Oh, those are the guys. Michelle and Tony are those two who don't have any fun. Those are two who always plays by the rules. But you can see that they play by the rules because they believe in them and because they understand that being cowboy is not always an answer. And you can also see that as much as career is important for both of them, relationship is even more so. And that responsibility, that sternness that you might dislike those characters for initially, that actually makes their love story more loving. Love story more loving. I know what I said, but think about it. Many people dislike Tony even in universe because he's so stern and always responsible, but he applies exactly same principles, exactly same logic, and exactly same level of responsibility to a relationship with his wife. And that's a great writing tip that I would give you now. We can talk endlessly how a lot of writers forget about the showcase when you have character who's wild and doesn't play by rules and thinks on the run. And yes, that's attractive, that's fun, that's escapism. But it wouldn't hurt to show that how these characters can also cause trouble. And by same token, as we see here, it wouldn't hurt to, even if you have character that you want your audience to hate, even if you have a character who is kind of a party pooper like Tony and doesn't smile a lot, it wouldn't hurt to showcase that their sternness can have positive reasons, such as Tony always listens to other people's opinions, even if he shuts them down when he doesn't have time. He's not as arrogant as people think. He plays by the rules, and he's superior. I might trust him more than they trust Jack, which might come playing later when he's needed. It's needed to talk to authorities. Tony is much better at this as Jack ever was. And also that the level of responsibility does translate into Tony being very good husband, because it's not like he cares about his career and then acts like a buffoon when it comes to his wife. No, he cares about his career, he cares about his job, and he cares about his wife, not just being happy as a wife, but he cares about Michelle being her own person and following her own dream. And that, for story and real life, for me, that's a great man. If you agree and if you find this writing tip in any way useful, I would really appreciate it if you liked and subscribed. It helps me watch the channel, hopefully for both of us. Either way, I hope you have fun, and I hope I will hear you next time. In the meantime, stay awesome.